Hello, powerful one. Welcome to this edition of Inner Growth with Osezuah Elimihe. I want to believe that you understand what it means when it is said that you, as a human being, are a vibrational entity. Everything in creation, plants, animals, rivers, all of them, they are all vibrational entities. Now, the difference between these things and us is that we have an active vibration that is of a higher scale. And that scale is capable of elevation and, of course, depression. It's all within our sphere of allowances. As you are right now watching this video, you are at a certain vibrational frequency. And that frequency is not stable. It fluctuates, it undulates over the course of your day. And what are the things that are responsible for the undulation of your frequency? It is your contacts. The contacts you make are responsible for your frequency undulation. There is what you might call a native frequency. Now, within that frequency that's native, there is a calibration. Let us imagine that you have a frequency of 400. I'm just using numbers, okay? Let's assume the highest frequency of a human being is 800. Somebody has done a calibration like that. I just don't remember his name now, would have mentioned it. That the ideal human frequency is actually at 800, which is perpetual bliss. So let us run with the assumption that your frequency is at 400. Now, there is 350, there is 300, and there is 250, there is all of that. Within your 400 frequency frame, of course, there will be some levels within that 400. If you are keeping your space properly, if you are keeping your mind in check, no matter what you come into contact with, you will not drop below that 400. You will not go out of the 400 range. But when you get your mind involved with seductive elements that are capable of taking you away from your frequency, what happens is that you fall. And what are these elements? Now remember that every human being like you are vibrational entities. So whatever they do, whatever they say, their product generally, their mental products, they are all carrying their frequencies. So if you hear the voice of somebody who is at a lower frequency, say 200, you will discover that it is capable of pulling you down. If you pay prolonged attention to that voice, it will pull you down. Because first of all, the voice is depressive. And that is the phenomenon of contagion that is happening right there. Because human beings are capable of contaminating one another. Now, when a person is vibrating at a frequency of 250 and you are at 400, anything from that person, contact, physical contact, when you touch somebody, like when you do handshake, you hold it for a longer period of time, the person is rubbing off on you and you are rubbing off on that person. Talk more about hugging. All of these things, we are rubbing off on each other. And these things take a little from us frequency-wise. They are pulling. But when that contact has an intention from either of you, if the person with a lower vibrational frequency carries an intention of desire towards you, let's say that as a male or a female, you got into contact with the opposite sex, even same sex, whose corporal integrity has been adversely compromised by incessant, uncontrolled contact with all kinds of things around them. And this person comes to you with intent. The person carries a message of, I want to experience this guy. And you make that contact, I want to experience this lady. The person's contact will pull you down. And without going too far, you have been in the environment of certain people, you just feel that your mood is solid. You've had that thing before. That is frequency. The person has a very low frequency and that frequency is pulling against your frequency. And because you are very open, you are not guarded, you don't have filter for frequency, this person is able to seep into you. And when he makes that contact with you, because you are not safely where you are, he pulls you down. Now, how do these things happen? That I will make contact with somebody and the person's frequency will affect me adversely. How does it go, you might ask? See, there are many relationships that you get yourself involved in because on a daily basis as we live, we must connect with our environment. It depends on the level and the intent of our connection. If we are connecting and contacting with intent to take from, to feed from, then we are bound to the level of the frequency of that thing in our environment that we are connecting and intending to feed from. How does this really work? Well, remember your 5 senses: sight, smell, taste, hearing, and of course, feeling, contact. These are the areas through which your frequency can be compromised. So the wisdom call is: be as wise as a green snake under the green grass, but as harmless as a dove. Be aware when you step out every day of your life, because you are making contact with these 5 senses, and these contacts are capable of bringing you down if you are making contact with things with lower frequency than yours. But if you are making contact with things, with beings who are of a higher frequency, it will elevate you. Tell me you haven't met people just by being in their company, just by hearing their voices, you feel elated, you feel elevated. That is what we are talking about. People affect people. Well, hold that thought. We'll be back after this break. I am Osezuah Anthony Elimihe. You know me. I am in the game of helping you grow from inside out. That is the drill. But this is it. There is really nothing wrong with your mood to modulate, because there's no way human being can stay on the same frequency all the time, the same mood. Now, when they talk about dynamism, life is dynamic. You cannot remain on frequency 400 perpetually. Something must take you up or take you down. You must keep moving. This is why the saying, show me your friends and I will show you who you are. People around you make input to your personality, and your personality determines your destiny, and the movement towards your destiny is what controls your mood. Come on. So be wary. I'm not saying you should be toxic in your positivity. I've talked about toxic positivity before in one of my videos. There are some people, because of their associations with prophets, association with some kinds of people who don't really understand the mechanism of positivity, because they know that they should have a positive feeling and have a positive vibe, they run away from everything that is not in line with their beliefs. My frequency cannot be affected because you come to me with new ideas that are outlandish to me. The only thing that will make my frequency dip is because that thing shakes me and I am beginning to give it a thought at the subconscious level. Yes, it will dip me. Now, the state of these people that have what you might call toxic positivity is that they are scared of being snatched away from their beliefs by superior argument. Therefore, once anything does not agree with what they believe in, they build a shade. They even get antagonistic. They get verbally violent towards the person, the carrier of that idea. They don't have a healthy attitude towards something that negates their beliefs or their states. That's what it is. And those things are planted in them at the subconscious level by the corporate environment that they go for their so-called worship and all of that. So those things are planted in them. There is a watch filter that is guarding against their being liberated from those negative beliefs implanted in them, because those are the beliefs that keep them enslaved to these places of so-called worship, and they will not leave that place until they wake up one day and realize that they have been wrong for a while, and then they can get a sense of liberation. But that's not what we're talking about. What I want you to understand is that everything you take in, because this physical body is the passageway to your being. Your soul is on the inside somewhere. Like my master would say, within the same body, the Father and the Son are present, but they don't see eye to eye because there is a middle wall of partition that is blocking them away. But the Father is waiting patiently for the Son to take away that partitioning, and there will be a feast of reunion. That day is what we are waiting for. But for now, you need to maintain your ground where you are. Let nobody infiltrate it. Don't be scared that people are going to infiltrate you. That fear of being brought down by negativity is also toxic in itself. It's a toxic form of positivity, which is not positivity anyway. It's negativity in disguise. Because if you are grounded at your frequency, nothing will pull you down. What keeps you grounded in your frequency? It has to do with your perpetual awareness. Like they say, the price of liberty is perpetual vigilance. Now, how do your five senses bring about your being pulled down from your frequency? There are times you are so happy, you wake up or you just slide into that happy moment that is so boisterous. You are up there. Your heart feels very light and filled with beautiful thoughts, beautiful things, and you are loving everybody, everything around you. You just want to hug the world. You are sending blessings to everything around you. And then suddenly you find out that you need to seep out. That joy is just leaving you. You are watching it go away helplessly. You don't know what to do. Now, this is it. When you don't know what to do and this thing is happening to you, what is happening is that as long as you are worried, as long as you are troubled about what is happening, it will keep happening because you are now fretting. You are now attached to that state of mind. Don't get attached to any state of mind. Get attached to the truth of your life. It is the truth of your life that you are attached to that lifts you, nothing else. And that truth of your life, they come in form of tiny practices, tiny observances that you put in place in everything you do. You see this idea of praying for food before you eat them. It's not because it is poison or anything. It is about giving thanks. For instance, here are my beautiful avocado pear. Lovely fruits. Do you know where this fruit has passed through? Otherwise, this fruit on its own is neutral. All right? It is just going to replenish my body. Okay? I'll eat it by the grace of God. God bless you, my dear. I eat it by the grace of God, and within the space of 1 hour, 2 hours, it becomes part of my body. And some aspect of it might become part of the manures on the earth. So, but where does this fruit come from? How can it affect my mental space? I am holding it right now. There are thoughts going through me as I'm holding this thing. And those thoughts are infiltrating and going into these fruits. The more I hold it, the more I touch it, the more these fruits begin to vibrate at my frequency. Yes, it begins to vibrate at my frequency because I am pouring my frequency potential into these fruits. The thoughts that I invest in this fruit works. Why do you think that you're not supposed to eat outside? Don't accept food from strangers or from certain people. It is because they are changing the vibrational content of the things that they are giving to people. This is how people get initiated into all kinds of negativity. You have power. I want you to know this above all other powers around you. The only power that is superior to you is the power of the divine. But this is the beauty of the power of the divine. It is not imposing. The truly divine power allows you to find a way to it. It does not force its way on you. That is why you will not see a divine advertising their powers to anybody. They don't do it. Anybody who advertises their powers and tells you to come and have a taste of their power, you know where they are from. They are from the lower side of life. Now, when this fruit gets to you, you don't know who has touched it. The person might be undergoing some depression. The depressive mood will enter, it will condition these fruits because these fruits, the things of nature that are below us, they are neutral. They are open to our conditioning. So when you hold food and you are praying on the food, you are not praying because you want to get poison out of it. Well, somehow you are. What you are supposed to actually do is to pour your frequency potential into the food. Condition the food to match your bodily frequency. That's what it's all about. You really even don't have to talk. You can hold these fruits like I'm holding it right now. I am feeling a sensation in my heart right now because things are coming out of me right into this food. This is not magic. This is who you are. You are power. Everything about you is energy. Your energy can be purified when it is stained. Your energy can be pure. It can be filled in. But right now, I don't know what my state of energy is. I don't know how you think. I don't know how you want to look at my state of energy. But right now, I am feeling something from me going into this fruit because I'm open to the awareness of it. And it conditions these fruits to my frequency. So when I eat it, it will not change anything. in my frequency. That's what it is. But I make it even stronger when I now give thanks to the source. When I now bless the channels through which this fruit has come to me. When I remember the farmer who planted it. When I remember the workers who came to weed around the parent crop from which this beautiful, blessed fruit came to me. Those who carried this fruit from the farm, who harvested it, who carried it from the farm to the markets. All of those chains. Remember people who carry heavy load on their head in the marketplaces, from one place to shops, from shops, the vehicles that transport them. And I remember all of them with love, and I send love and blessings to all of them. The frequency of this fruit begins to heighten to the level of love, even higher than what my body is now. And then when I eventually now say, okay, Lord, this is so beautiful, this is a gift of love, I offer it to you with the whole of my heart, Lord, as an offering of appreciation and thanksgiving. The vibrational frequency of this fruit will go beyond my present frequency. And when I eat it, it will elevate me. So everything that you have to ingest it without understanding, with that state of mind. Always elevate their frequency so that you can be lifted by taking them. And not only that, you save yourself from the frequency of other people that have made contact with it before it got to you. That's one. The same thing is true of drink. There are places you go to, the environment itself is polluting. When you get there, you take a drink, remember who you are. I made a video on this, I remember some time back. I told you, when you hold anything, when anything makes contact with you, always remember who you are. That memory, that remembrance of who you are changes the dynamics, changes the chemical equation in that particular thing. When you are shaking people, remember who you are. If you are beggarly by nature and you remember that beggarliness, the people will convert you to their level because you are weak. But remember who you are as a very selective entity who will not open itself to the vibrations of others. You love your vibration, you want to maintain or heighten it. You don't go borrow, you don't go picking from everywhere. This is the same reason we avoid unnecessary sexual contacts with just people we see because they look good. Because those contacts those contacts pull us down. So if you consider that your frequency is sacred and that the integrity of your cells, of your body are very, very crucial to you, they are valuable to you, then you will be wary of the people you make contact with. Same thing with the kind of things you hear. The stories you hear will affect your bodily chemicals and they will affect your electromagnetic state of being. You need to filter things you hear. Music, the same thing. Music that are low in frequency will drag you down. Music that are high in frequency will elevate you. You get it? So these are the things. So beware of the things you make contact. There are times you have perceived a perfume. You've perceived certain things and they trigger a frequency. Now look at it. Some perfumes have nothing in them, they are just pure. But it depends on the state of mind of the person, what the person that is wearing it, what the person is exuding at that time. If that person is exuding sensuality or whatever it is, or violence, at the time you take in the perfume, anytime you remember that perfume, you will be pulled down to that memory. That is why the people you fight with, their aroma, their odor will affect your frequency in later time when you remember it in other people. Life is very funny. It is the way it is. It is the mind. Don't forget one thing, not you now, your system, your mind and your body. They are projectors and they are reflectors. You see? Now, this is the aspect of the reflection now. You reflect the things that are sown into your system, in your memories, and then of course in your identity. And when you do that, it will now be responsible for how you read other things in life. I will do a video on how we see. You will see what I'm talking about on that. So, at the end of the day, watch out for your frequency. Guard it jealously. Because from your frequency, you build your life. Thank you very much for listening and watching this video. God bless you.